Each pizza's got a personality, you know. Hi, I'm Rob. That's some crazy shit. That's a thermal protection trick. I've got a little business called Rob's Soul Foods, and I make pizza in the van communities. It's the perfect pizza, I think. So I drive from place to place and do pizza for people. And tonight we're doing pizza. So this is the van. It's called Mobby. So yeah, here's my van. This is where I live. I've lived in the van now for 5 years. It's a very functional van. So everything has to be like, so I can get the pizza oven under the bed and still be able to live comfortably and so on. There's a fridge. We have a small wood burner. The wood burner came from a French narrowboat. It was in a captain's cabin on a French narrowboat, and I found it. I have a little oven and my kettle and all my tea, because I'm English and if I don't have tea I die. All of this has been sort of found. This is spalted beech, which is like a special type of, what they do is before it is hard, they rot it for, I think it's like 1 year in water, and then you get these amazing water rot patterns. And it looks much nicer when you have oil on it, actually. When you oil it, it looks really shiny and nice. The floor is from it was a barge, and they took the floor out, and my friend who was a carpenter, he made the floor, and it's really good in the summertime because it's cool, and in the wintertime it's nice because it reflects the heat. It was an old minibus for disabled people, so this is how it started. It was in London, and it would take people from home to the supermarket in their wheelchairs and stuff, and in the back there was a lift, and I sold the lift. I sold the lift for more than I paid for the van, which is cool. There's some more people arriving. There's French guys from... The pizza on the road is because everyone knows what a pizza is. So I need something universal. The pizza oven works really well because people just know pizza and they can know what they want on a pizza, right? I love making pizza. I love cooking with fire, you know, having a fire and then producing some food and then giving that to someone. And especially in Spain and Italy, with the olive wood you can get here. The olive wood is incredibly good to cook with. It makes the food smell nice and it burns really hot, and it's part of the culture of Spain and Italy to cook pizza, good pizza with olive wood. Yeah. So and it's everywhere. You can, you know, it grows everywhere, so you can get it relatively cheaply. The soul foods like ethos is to travel around, learn how someone cooks something, like a small village in Macedonia where they do chicken in a particular way, and you learn why they do it. So they learn over hundreds of years how to cook a particular dish, and then I go there and I learn how to cook it and then I steal it. But really I don't steal it because I share it with my people through soul food. The point of soul foods has always been, it's a cultural identity of making good food for people, so it's real food, and I think pizza's perfect for that. You know, I lived in Italy for a couple of years and I learned how to do pizza properly in Napoli. Pizza was perfect in Napoli. I tried pizza in Rome and it was shit. And then I went to Napoli and I tried pizza and I've never tasted anything like it. It's completely different. Thing about pizza in Napoli is it's a food of the people there. Whereas in Rome it's just something to sell. But the pizza there is an identity. Each chef has an identity. And pizza chefs are taken really seriously in Napoli. Yeah. If you become a pizza chef, you are quite something. You know? Yeah. It's not like it's a big deal. I had the van 13 years now.
This one?
Yeah. And she, when we got together, she was like, let's live in the van. I was like, yeah, okay. And she, you know, so it just gave me a chance to be with her and have adventures, but also to try and then find places and go around and find these foods and then bring them back to soul foods in the UK in the summertime. This is what I do, is I spend the winter in the van somewhere hot, mostly around the Mediterranean, and then I go back to UK and I do the foods in UK. I surf. I'm a surfer from where I come in Cornwall, where everyone surfs. I guess there's an element of freedom to it. Some people become relevant to their communities. Do you know what I mean? Because van life now is very popular, right? It's very cool to be in a van. I find this year, or last year too, lots of young single girls doing yoga and like, my life is perfect. Instagram, hashtag van life. And there's this whole thing about like the older generation, or maybe just people have been doing it for years, are saying that hashtag van life is killing van life, which is like fucking crazy. Yeah. Freedom, adventure, all that stuff, because all my power is from the sun, my water is from the road, you know, blah blah blah. So I'm good for the environment too. So it's quite funny as well, because I go from place to place. The attitude of the police in some areas of Spain, definitely this year, have changed towards van lifers. Yeah. And that's difficult to understand. 5 or 6 years ago, I had some savings. I had enough money to buy some land. I was fully up to basically going and buying a place and then turning it into a permaculture and then making a life doing this. But the fact is that I realised really quickly that lots and lots of people were doing the same thing. Like this whole thing I met last year, I must have met 500 people all going to Portugal to buy land. So I've really unplugged from that because I've suddenly realised that you don't need to have land. You don't. In actual fact, if you have land, it's a tether. I think right now my goals are probably changing. Keep doing food, just make people smile. I swim in the sea in the morning, and then in the evening I sort of have a flannel wash. I haven't had a shower since. I'm not dirty bastard. But no, most days I just wash in the sea. Stone. It's just as hard as stone. Really old olive wood. You can smell the olive oil still. If you scratch it, it just smells of olive oil. You can smell. Yeah. Gloves, tea towels, cheese.
Oh my god.
So this is the 6 cheese mix. Gouda, Emmental, cheddar, the local Povolo, which is like a cheese they use for Italian dishes. Because it's really it's a good mix. Let's mix. Hey! Hello. What's going on? The next step is to hey amigo, is to roll out the pizza bases. So now I preheat all the bases, just a few seconds, and then I store them in this bag, so the ingredients can be wet. Yes. When you put it on, it's fine. It's no problem. I light the fire, then I'll roll out the pizza bases individually, cook them, put them in the store, and then get everything else ready. So what do you think with this weather, Mick? When they go in, they're 300 degrees. Kills everything, no problem. When they are cooked with the cheese, they come out at 450 degrees. Yeah, maybe more actually. Oh yeah. So I was given a sourdough culture by a friend of mine that I used to work with, and this was 5 years ago. And she gave me it, and she said, this one is a strong one, but it won't last that long because they just don't. They can get weakened every time. Every time you take some of the culture from them, they get weakened just a little bit. But this one, it lasted for 5 years. So it was an ancient one. It was really, really old, full of good nutrients. Very strong bacteria for the gut. You know the sourdough in supermarkets though, it's not real sourdough. No. There's a routine of doing things, like if I was in Subway or somewhere like this, they have the same thing. So we go tomato, cheese, onions, mushrooms, and then the specialty stuff will be in here. So whether it's meat or cheese or goat's cheese or the olives or whatever, it's all sort of here. So it's like a production line. So it's quite quick and you can just bash it out. Each pizza's got a personality, Each pizza is its own being. And I think that if you have food that's happy with what you've done to it, then it's happier for the person. Like every food has personality. Yes, everything is energy, yeah. And if it's happy energy, it's better for you, I think. I know that this is not going against a lot of principles of energy, but I have to use antibacterial spray, and then I wash it off. Oh, bastard. So, and each pizza cutter is a different pizza. So the meat one's black, the seafood's red, the vegetarian's white, sweet chili chicken silver. So that way there's no cross-contamination. I'm just drying them, so they just sit in the bowl. And that way there's no cross-contamination on the table either. Vegan, gluten-free is kind of like the big issue. There is a pizza that I can make, and it's made from chickpea flour. It's really hard to cook. This is the travel knives. I've got many knives back home, but they each have individual usage.
Do they have names?
No, just bastards. Bastard 1, bastard 2. They're covered in flour from the last one. There's a complicated little bit of design with the fire shape. So what I do now, build a little bridge and then do this, and then as the fire's going, then I can just move it back, because at the back is the air. I don't know if you can see way back there, you can see the air, the grill. So the air goes through it, and then you start the fire at the front of the oven, and then slowly move it back onto the grill. And then this way it's easier to control the fire for the first hour, because you obviously need to put your hands in to be amongst it and stuff. When it's hot enough, you can move it back over the airflow to make it hot. It's taken a lot of trial and error, that one. 210 kilos.
210?
Everything, yeah. It's quite heavy.
Yeah.
To lift it off the floor, me and this guy did yesterday. Ah, fuck! I just about managed it without dying. There's a conical shape in the middle, about here, where this goes inwards like this, both sides. So it funnels the heat, it rolls the heat across the front, and then it rolls back again, and then rolls back. And this is why it's quite efficient with wood, because the heat recycles itself every few seconds. So you get a constant heat at the front. This is the ashtray. If I take it out fully, then it gets maximum air going through. So it burns wood quicker. So when it's hot, then I close this, and then burns more effectively. So you kind of put layers of wood, so as it lights, I know it might sound a bit arsey, but as the paper lights, and the weight of the wood will push it down into the gully between the two bits of wood, because that's what you want, is the fire to be between the two bits. Probably doesn't make any sense, but it just seems to work this way.
Many things
don't make
sense.
sense, yeah.
In this world, you know?
I know, yeah, and this is definitely one. Oh, you bastard. Okay, let's see what we get on this one. See if I can do a one. These, I went and picked these up a couple of days ago underneath an old olive tree, and it's just nicer to have olive if you can get it. It's the best. It's just the best wood. I mean, there is better wood for other things, but for this, olive wood is just the king. I don't know, man. It just works. That stuff is hundreds of years old, but it's expensive. I think I've definitely pushed it over 1,000 degrees in the back of the oven. At some point the oven will reach an equilibrium, so you get the stones are hot, the insulation in here is hot, all the metal is the same temperature, and then the flames go into a slow motion. They go into a slow double gloves. Yeah, that's some crazy shit. That's a thermal protection trick. So now I'm going to move the two outer logs. I put two on, one here and one here, and the small fire in the middle, and you just slowly push it back to the vent, and this will increase the heat really quickly. So here on the inside I'm already getting 300 plus, so this will all warm the insulation here. There's brick insulation, and the stones will need to come up to temperature. So this will take maybe 2 hours for the stones to get hot, but when the stones are hot, then I can cook a pizza just on the stones. It's fine. And that's in the paella tray, so it actually cooks really well through this convection thing, and it evenly spreads the heat. And this way as well, the pizza doesn't stick to the stones, because outside it's a real problem. But yeah, so we put the door back on and let the oven do its thing for half an hour. I think that hip hop is the best music. Pizza, West Coast. Fucking hell, hip hop is so good. I have my piece of wood to roll the pizzas on.
Too much of that wine of yours. Why don't you and I have a drink? Oh, but of course, there's no wine in the world.
لسه مفتون.
Just hit my car, passed away. Yeah, like
I guess, you know, one beautiful thing is that they're together again, which I think is something that doing reference a lot in his music.
So,
you know, being someone who has a little brother.
this dough is not made with any yeast.
Most scared of is always
It's just flour, salt, water, and
a warming for.
love. What I'm doing when I'm doing this, I can't do it by hand, but in the wind it makes it more difficult, and I don't really want to lose any on the sand. So just roll a real simple. It's a little bit dry actually, this one. I might have to put some more oil with it. Olive oil, obviously. The olive oil somehow acts as a yeast, and it rises. The flour will rise. The compound will rise with no yeast in it at all. And if there's enough yeast, if there's enough sugars in the oil for the bacteria to still create quite a healthy dough actually.
So much more positive.
It's sort of circular.
Sprightly, you know, like kind of bouncy around, different kind of flow, pretty much. Like it was a long time before I realised who he was, because when I was growing up, MF Doom was just MF Doom. There was no backstory. I didn't even know
My measuring
the Dr. Doom stuff.
tray. So this pizza's a little bit smaller than I would do back in UK because they're a bit cheaper, but also because I'm on my own, I don't have a lot of time to muck about. So actually, that's still quite heavy. You can feel with your hands. I've got so good at this now. I've done so many. I can feel the exact weight the pizza base needs to be before it'll fit in the. It's crazy, man.
There was always this truth within it, and yeah, it's a loss.
There you go. That's the right weight.
I wanted to play a couple tunes of Doomsday, which
Look at that.
came out in 1999.
So I'll just trim, because this way it's fair to everyone. A €6 pizza.
Around this time, I know that when he first came back, he was signed to
a bit over. And then,
by
so this is pre-cooking. I just leave it in the door for a few seconds, bubble up a little bit. Hopefully it'll bubble. In the meantime, get on with another pizza. So I have to roll out 20 of these now. I don't do more than this. I don't really want to work too hard. See the bubbling? The way it's bubbling up? That's what you want from the perfect pizza base. When it bubbles, it's hot enough to turn, and then you flip it for the last few seconds, and then it's done. Yeah, this dough is much harder to work with than. I left it drier because I thought the weather was going to be more moist today, so I didn't put too much. So that's perfect. The little bubbles. That's what you're looking for. The bubbling, the air in there. So it means there's air and it's nice and airy. And then this goes in the base. And then we're ready for the next. This would be. So sharpen this, sharpen.
Yeah.
And when the zombies come, you can nip off the heads, or slap, or oof, or it's a great one. And also pizza. Exactly. So 5 zombies, no problem. And also for the canoeing.
Yeah.
It's like the ultimate toy.
It's like a Swiss knife.
Yeah. And for fishing. All right, head, calm down. But yeah, it's like so in the zombie apocalypse, I'm gonna make this stronger, maybe bigger bolts, sharpen this here. Yes, Heather, that's correct. It's the ultimate weapon. It's great. At the back are nearly done, but I can't put another one in until they're a bit more. See? It's nearly there though. That's great. Thanks, man. Oops. You said you were hungry.
Yeah, I am.
Hey, Lars is hungry. What do you want? Which one do you want? Do you know? Sweet chili chicken?
Yes.
Yeah, nice one. With green olives, yeah?
Feels good to be back.
No worries.
This next song is a song that I used to do.
So, this is my secret. No one knows this. Alioli, it heals the base. You know the base when it's first cooked? It gets very dry and then cracks. So the alioli, it heals it. It's a secret. No one does it. I think I'm the only one in the universe. But it's not something that I've seen anywhere else. But it really works because the base the heat needs to be evenly dispersed across the base, and then Things are a lot better to cook. So we do 2 layers of cheese. 1. And then some tomat. Some pieces here and here. This one's good. And then some onion. This keeps the flies away, I forgot. They don't like red onion. They get really freaked out by red onion, so maybe I leave this here. And then we do some mushrooms. You got portobello and the normal blancos. Okay. And then we have some. Oops. There's a dog in the kitchen. I think health and safety will go mental. No, I was only. Well, no, it's cool actually not to have a dog. So then, green olives. Sweet chili. Chicken. I need to. That's a fallacy. And top layer of cheese. Some more olives. There you go. A la vengo into the oven. Okay, you're good. Maybe 40 seconds, something like this. Yeah. But when it's hot, 20, 22, 20, 25 seconds. Yeah. And this is the thing, because this is what you want. You want everything to be freeze. All that energy in the food, all the good energy, you want that just packed in, and the heat packs it in. Yeah. I think. Voila! So we go vegetarian, no chicken. So yeah, yours is done.
Nice.
And then chicken slicer. Did you want any oils on yours?
Yes, please.
Oh yeah, okay. It's in it. Did you want? So we have.
I like pizza.
Garlic, mild chili. Do you want garlic?
I don't like chili. I like garlic.
Oh, and pepper. Shit. Any chili?
No.
Okay, pepper.
Yes.
Okay.
What is that?
It's a pepper grinder or a pepper mill. It's actually German.
Actually, German?
Yeah, it's made in Germany, so it works. There you go, sir.
First one.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Seafood, ghost cheese, black olive.
I have no word for it. I just know that you need to listen to more rap.
Right.
Like rap. I thought that we had fun today as well with the good fight. But yes, if you just locked in, it's your boy Lowell Kana. You're listening to Radio 6 Music with me, and this is my artist and resonance show. So if you like what you're hearing, which I hope you do, you can listen to my other shows.
I forgot to tell them there's calamari in this one. Damn it.
They'll come up, you know, I've got
Hopefully
shows
they
that
won't hold. I told them it was octopus, but it's actually calamari.
Which is a little bit of a side note.
Slightly different.
My favourite one is dedicated just to the sun.
But you know, you can get things wrong, right?
Yeah, just different.
Yeah.
Never wrong, just different.
Oh, fucking hell, fucking mad. Jeez, it's like I've never cooked in in a shit kitchen. Thank fuck. I'm very happy about this. Yeah, it's just nicer environment, right? Dude.
So hard to chew.
This is Mick's first goat's cheese one. So I'm going to give him extra goat's cheese so he never has another one. He's a meat eater, and right from the start I was always saying that goat's cheese and black olive is my favourite pizza because it's the first pizza I had on the street in Napoli. It's the first one. And I was fucking just, I couldn't believe how good it was. I couldn't believe how good it was. And now making them generally, and I love making these pizzas. They're great. It's just the perfect goat's cheese, nice and creamy and mature, lifts you up. And then the black olives just smack you down again. It's just amazing. It's the perfect pizza, I think. Okay, cool. Something's different. I think it's that fucking chair. You bastard.